Hello, everyone. I'm going to be talking about the ultimate missed call text back. It's a part of the REISync function that I created, and I'm going to be showing you how it helps you as a real estate person or contractor, a transaction coordinator. As long as you run a business that has to do with reaching out to people and having leads, then you're definitely going to need a missed call text back of some form. But why the ultimate missed call text back? How do you build it? Why do you need it? I'm going to be going over it in this video. Now, there are two ultimate missed call text back, but I won't be going over the second one because this is supposed to be a short video, just onboard you into what one thing that you need step at a time, but one step at a time, baby steps. So I'm going to be talking about ultimate missed call text back, the first version, and then in another video, I'm going to be talking about the ultimate missed call text back, the emergency scenario. So let's get into it, shall we? Okay, so now, as you can see, this is the ultimate missed call text back, the main scenario. I'm going to open it up. And now, why do you need an ultimate missed call text back? Why do you need a missed call text back automation? Now, when it comes to businesses like real estate, when it comes to businesses like, being a contractor, a lot of people are out there looking for the same position you're looking for, right? Someone wants to sell a home, somebody wants to buy a home. A lot of people wants to be their agent. You're doing contractor services, construction, HVAC. A lot of people are also doing the stuff and are looking for leads. What makes you better is how professional and how fast you respond to this lead. It's just something about consumer affairs, all right? The customer is always right. The simple rules like the customer naturally gravitates to those people that are available, give incredible, professional, and timely, relationship with them. And that's the people they patronize the most. So the ultimate missed call text back enables you to not just respond fast, it enables you to personalize the response. It enables you to also remain professional, meaning telling them, okay, I'm not available 24/7. I have a system for you and I'm going to get to you as fast as possible. Right? So let's get into the automation. Now, of course, like every other automation, it has a trigger. Now, this is for the basic of all basics, right? This is a test account. So you can add more triggers, if you want the ultimate missed call test back to be filtered to a particular thing. For example, you might not want everybody to go through the ultimate missed call text back. You might want just a specific kind of lead or some specific kind of source of lead. So you can add that trigger as well, right? Or you can filter this trigger as well. So now this is a trigger call status. Call status is the main trigger. Now there's a difference between the workflow trigger and the workflow trigger name. The workflow trigger name can be written as anything. That it's just like a title, right? So most of the time, the workflow trigger name is what shows right there, right? Instead of the workflow trigger. And a lot of operators don't necessarily use what the workflow trigger is as the workflow trigger name. Right? They write this so that it's easy for you to understand it. So incoming call missed or voicemail. Now, how do I set up this workflow trigger? The first thing is the call direction. Now, there are two kinds of calls on GoHighLevel. There's the inbound and there's the outbound. Right? The outbound means I am making the call to them. The inbound means the call is coming through me, to me, right? To me. So, of course, this is an incoming call because it's you mixing the call right and trying to test back. So the call direction is definitely inbound, which is the same thing as incoming. Another important part is the status of the call, right? It's to all calls, right? If you picked up a call, then you don't need the ultimate missed call text back, right? So you want to ensure that it is only those people that you didn't pick their call, like people that had missed calls that are reaching out to. And now the three main reasons why you might not pick a call. The first one is you're busy, right? So probably cut the call, or you're just busy at that moment. So that is the status. The next one is voicemail. So if it goes into the voicemail, that is definitely a missed call. And then when there is no answer, whether there's no voicemail, there's no busy, no, as long as there's no answer, it fits into the call status. So these are the recommended call status that you use for your workflow trigger. Now there are more filters you can add to streamline. You can use custom fields. So you could create properties for particular, maybe properties for lead source, properties for type of sellers if you just want to use the ultimate missed call text back for particular type of sellers. Now you can use it for different phone numbers. So If you have multiple phone numbers or multiple phone number pools, you can specify what phone number and what phone number pool. Okay, let me save this. See? Now, the next thing is the conditional actions. Now, there are two kinds of actions on GoHighLevel. There's a conditional action, and then it's, of course, there's a direct action. Now, the conditional action means conditions that have to be met for the next action or the next process in the journey to take place, and that's why it's a conditional action. So, like I said, this is also a name. It can be changed. It's just a title. And the main stuff that is being used here is if or else. This is an if a else conditional workflow action, right? So you have branches. So there is a main branch and there is when none of the branches are met. So you have to have one branch and one of the branches are met. You can have multiple branches, but the requirement is to have at least one branch and then another branch. So now there is a the tag created is called missed call. Now why are we using the tag does not include missed call because at the point in time when they call, the system is supposed to tag them as missed call. We're going to go to how to set that up right now, maybe after this step. Now it's going to tag them as missed call. Now you don't want to keep doing the same automation for people that are just recently had missed calls. For example, I called about 30 minutes ago, and then I'm calling about 30 minutes again, and then you're sending me the same automation. It makes it look so automated, right? But if I you can give it a space of maybe 2 hours. Okay, if this person doesn't call within the 2 hours, it's still a missed call. Like a missed call in 2 hours is still a missed call. So it's not going to go through the same process again. And after 2 hours, if it calls in, it's the new missed call. So that is the essential the essence of the tag. Right? And that's how to set it up. Now, of course, based on what I said, there's a branch tag and there's a non tag, right? Non branch. So this is the branch for if the tag does not include missed call, meaning they are eligible for the ultimate missed call text back. And this is if it contains missed call, which means they will not be going through the automation until they can, bye bye. Now, the next action, if they are not missed calls, if they don't include missed calls, if they are not previously missed calls. Now, slight delay. Now, the reason for this is you don't want to sound like a bot. Very important. You don't want to sound like a bot, especially when you're making that first reaction to them. So you want to make it look like yeah, they know it's a bot, but you don't want to make it look like you just make a call and then when you end the call they see a flash notification. No, you don't want to make it look that way. So it means that you're going to give it a little bit of time. So this is 12 seconds. You can determine if you want your SMS automation to have shorter time. If you want to make it instantaneous, but me, I just always don't want Apple to look like able. Right? I want it to be a little bit less robotic. So that's why I had the slight delay. Now, the important part I mentioned earlier was the add contact tag. So this is the part where the contact tag is added, missed call. So somebody who goes through this automation once will have this missed call tag already. So if they add the tag, like I said earlier, they will not be going through the automation again. They'll be going out of the automation. Now, here is the beginning of the conditional statement in ultimate missed call text back. Here's where it gets complex. Now, for your own professionalism, you want to be reaching out to them differently on different periods. So if it is the day of the week, it's definitely going to be a different message you want to send to them on a weekday than you want to send to them on a weekend. Why? Because the weekend is not your working hours, right? So the kind of message you want to send to them on your working hours, if you mix a call, is quite different from the kind of message you want to send to them when it's not your working hours, right? So now, of course, most people work during the weekdays. But if you don't work during the weekdays, you can create your own custom, right? There are ways to go around it. Still the same if or else. And the functionality we're using right here is, let me go back. So this is how it's going to be like when you create the branch. The functionality you're looking at is date and time functionality. And then you can pick current day of the week, current day of the month. But what we read right now is the current day of the week. And then is weekday. So if the current day of the week is weekday, it goes out to one side, like one branch. And of course, if it is weekend, which means the non-branch, it goes out to the other part, right? Quite easy. Now, if it is the weekday, doesn't fall under your business hours. So if your business hour between 7 to 6, it's quite different, right? So if it is after 6 p.m., it is no longer your working hours. And the way you want to respond, you want to make sure they know that it's no longer your working hours, but you're still reaching out to them. Oh, I got a missed call, but it's no longer my working hours. So you just want to ensure that they know that you have created a system for them that they can reach out to you at any point in time, right? So how do I how do I separate my working hours from my non-working hours so that my automation can tally? This is the same process we have been coming up with, the conditional workflow. So now, right now, what you want to set is not the current day of the week, but the current hour, right? And it's going to be a little bit more complex than the current day of the week because that one is just weekday. But now you're looking at between a space of time, right? So you're looking at, okay, between 8 to 5, meaning 7 and before is not included, meaning 6 and beyond is not included. So it means that there are going to be two conditions, right? It is after 7 and it is before 6. And that's why you have two conditional statement in one branch, right? So current hour is after 7 a.m. and current hour is before 6 p.m. Now, you don't want to use or in this kind of scenario. Why? Because when you use or, you only need one to be fulfilled. And that can be misinterpreted, and that is definitely not even the automation you want to use. For example, if it is 9 p.m. and I put all right here, now current hour is after 7 p.m. That is correct, right? So, but this is not correct. Current hour is before 6 p.m. Now, 9 p.m. is definitely not before 6 p.m. But because I was using or and one of them is correct, they definitely go through it, meaning it falls within the working hours. So what the CRM just did is misinterpret because you used all. So you have to be careful with the operating function and all. So this is after 7 a.m. and before 6 p.m. Now, one of the part I love the most about this automation when I was building it was the the personalization part of the automation is called tech pack. It's one of the reasons why I love this particular automation, and I had it, added to my snapshot is the personalization of it. So, do you know their name? So it means that if they are formal people in your CRM, the way it addresses them is different from a new lead. Why? Because it uses their name. So, for example, if I've been having Sarah with a particular, working on with Sarah, a particular client of mine, and then she calls, I'm going to use her name so that she knows that, okay, you are familiar with us. And that makes her calm down a little bit. It doesn't really look like a voicemail. It doesn't really look like an ultimate missed call text back. It doesn't even look like a missed call text back, but you mentioned my name, right? So it's quite different from, oh, the person is quite busy right now, please call later, kind of thing. It's saying, oh, hello, Sarah. Anita is not quite around right now. Can you call back later? It looks more like, okay, it's for me, right? So this actually, I did the statistics on it, and it actually improved the efficiency of a missed call text back compared to when you have regular customers and you don't have their name in the SMS going out. So if you have their name, that is, if you have their name, so that is the branch. The first name is not empty. So it's saying that if there is anything in that field called first name, and it's going to register as you having that first name, and then the information goes out, right? The SMS. I'm going to show you the difference between the SMS. So let's go to the next stuff, the SMS that goes out to the lead when you have their first name. So it says, "I contact name. Sorry, missed your call. How can we help?" So it's quite different because this person is my client. This person is somebody I've been reaching out to. I don't necessarily need to introduce myself. I don't necessarily need to ask information. I just need to know how I can help the person. Probably it's urgent, right? So, hello, Mary. How can I? Sorry, missed your call. How can we help you? Right? And then this means if this is our signature of your business name. So it's going to say, "Hi, Mary. Sorry, missed your call. How can we help?" And then your business brand is at the bottom, just like regards and your business brand. Now there is an internal notification that goes out to all users. Now you can definitely change this if you don't want it to be all users. You can pick particular users and pick multiple users. You can pick the assigned user to that person. So for example, oh, you just missed a call from, or we just missed a call from this. Call them back ASAP, right? So you can send it out to everybody in your system. And now this is another internal notification that goes to. So give me a minute. So this is an SMS, right? It's an SMS that goes to all users. So as long as the users have their phone number in as staff, it sends out the notification via SMS, which is quite important for those guys that you have that are not always on their, they don't have the access to, they are not using their systems for it. For example, I may be a business owner, I might not be operating GoHighLevel, so I only have the app on my phone, right? So it's going to send me an SMS directly because I cannot access the phone app or I cannot access the web app. So now, notification on the web app, on the app itself, right? So there's a notification on the app itself, the same thing with the SMS notification. So next thing is the wait. So there's a wait period currently for 30 minutes. Like I said, you can determine how long you want your missed call separations to be, right? You can determine how long exactly you want it to be. So this is 30 minutes. It means after 30 minutes, it removes the tag missed call, and then if the call back after 45 minutes, it still goes through the same process. Now I'm going to naturally leave this as 2 hours, 3 hours, because they're just trying to follow up on the missed call test back. And I'll show you how to do that. I'd rather you put them in the follow up nutshell so that if they call back or they respond, you can kind of, converse with them to try to kind of get the information they are trying to pass across to you and then take actions on it. I'm going to talk about in the conversational AI workflow, but I won't be talking about that today. So 30 minutes, this is for the ultimate missed call test back template. Definitely can be changed if you want to, go around it. Now, if the person is not in your first name, oh, I sorry, we missed your call, how can we help? Now, you can definitely change this, right? You can be like, hi there, sorry, we missed your call. We noticed you're not in our system. We'd like to have your name and email. We'd like to reach back, or would you like to book an appointment? If it's a new lead, you definitely want to tell them separately. Or if it's somebody that you don't have their information, you might want to collect their information. That is why I created this segment. So when their first name is not empty, it means they're definitely not in the CRM. Another stuff you can use is when their email is not in the CRM, and I think that's pretty awesome as well. So it means that they are not contacts in the CRM. So this is almost the same thing. The only difference is it is not office hours, right? It is weekday, but it's not office hours. That's what brings about this particular segment. So you look at this, same if first name is not empty, same process. I think the only difference is the change in communication, right? So for if they're in the first name, but it is not office hours, it's going to be I, Sarah. Sorry, missed your call, but we're currently closed. We'll call you first thing in the morning or text us with more details so that we can respond better to you. Now, that makes it awesome. But okay, yes, it's not our business hours. We're telling you how soon we can reach out to you. If you know it's too long for you, you can't wait till the morning. Text us more details and we're going to respond to it. Right. So that makes it open for them to say, okay, yeah, I still want to go ahead and drop it because it's quite important. Or can say, oh, you know what, you can wait till tomorrow morning. And that is essentially what it does here. So you have a lot of go to going out to. Now, what is go to? Go to is an automation that takes a step to another step in that same automation. So you don't need to build this out individually, you just use the go to. So all of them are going to the notification because the notification is the same, right? So from the communication of all others, they are going to the notification. So you still get the notification for all the automations I've been mentioning all day. Lastly, I'm going to be talking about what happens when it's weekend. Like I said, it is the same automation, just different communication, right? So if it is weekend, but you know that first name is going to be I. Sorry, miss your call. We are not open until Monday, so we'll call you back then. Thanks and enjoy your weekend. So you can see it's quite dynamic. Why? Because it is responding. It's personalizing the experience with time. It's personalizing the experience with with information. It's personalizing the communication with interactions that have been previously done. And that's just what makes it very beautiful, because it makes it look like you really, really care about the people that are reaching out to you. Unlike when you just have just one kind of template going out in all kind of situations. So if you ask me, this is really the power of the ultimate missed call text back. Just wait till you see the emergency case. That is a crazy scenario. But like, this is the power for the ultimate missed call text back. It's just so perfect because it it just assigns for all kind of scenarios. And you know what's beautiful about this? You can challenge yourself, right? You can challenge yourself to create something bigger. You can challenge yourself to create something more personalized, right? You can have a way you want to respond to particular clients. You may have the way you want to respond to, if you are doing real estate, you might have the way you want to respond to, people that are interested in creative finance. You might have a way you want to respond to your cash dealers, your cash dealer leads. You might have a way you want to respond to agents. You might have a way you want to respond to mortgage lenders, admin lenders. So it just makes it very perfect, right? So what I'm currently doing is I'm actually building this out for two people for free. Um, People that need the ultimate missed call text back, especially contractors, especially agents, because those are the guys that they really really get a lot of calls coming in. So I'm going to be building this out for two people for free. They're going to be putting it into their CRM and they're going to be giving me feedback. So if you want to be that person, you want to be the first two people in line to actually have this kind of automation in their CRM, you want to test it out yourself, please reach out to me, drop me in the comment section. I'll pick you up from there. We work together. We get in the call. I help you set it up. You tell me what you want to personalize about your own, and then we test it out and we share the result to others. Does that sound like a good deal? I bet it is. So that is all on the ultimate missed call test back one. I'll be coming back as soon as possible to talk about the ultimate missed call test back emergency cases. I'll also be talking about the conversation AI pretty soon. I don't know which one is going to come up first. Most likely the conversation AI, because it's going to be helping real estate people with property onboarding. So I most likely will be talking about that first. So that'll be all for today. Keep following our page. Keep following the group. It's so lovely to have you guys here. Um, Love you all. Bye.